Turning in the corner is one of the most difficult parts of paddle. I'm sure you realise when the ball goes in that corner that you need to turn, you just don't know how. Now we're going to talk about the best way to turn technique off the back glass and then how you can incorporate that in the double glass so you can defend every ball. Before we look at the technique, it's important to understand why we turn, whether it's on the back glass or with the double glass. The purpose of the turn is to make it easier to hit balls that are further out of reach. So for example, if the ball is coming with an angle, instead of me moving all the way to the side and playing a very difficult ball or pressing my back up against the glass, I would turn to make this shot easier. It's the same whether it's the double glass. We are turning because A, we don't have the time to get out of the way, and maybe getting out of the way also puts us in a difficult position for that shot in terms of our court position. The first part of this, before we talk about the double glass, is recognizing when is the right time and where that ball will rebound. Yeah, because you want to identify that as early as possible. As soon as that ball is on its way over, you want to say to yourself, I don't have time to get out of the way and play this without a turn. This is a turn opportunity, and then you want to stay with that ball and turn into that shot. But identifying it as early as possible is absolutely key for this shot, whether it's just the back glass or the double. The next part of this is understanding that the ball you will likely do this on is from a cross-court ball, and therefore when it goes into the glass, it will bounce out in a V shape. As opposed to from down the line, it's unlikely you will turn on a ball down the line. So if the ball is coming in a V shape, we see the rebound, we understand where it's going to go, and therefore when we're turning at the end of that V shape, yeah, as opposed to moving out of the way of the ball to try and hit it. This is our number one common error, is moving away from the line of the ball. If the ball is coming on this cross court, it's going to go down this line here and come off in a V. If we step away from that line of the ball, then we are actually stepping into the line of the rebound. So it's really important that when that ball comes, you stay quite close to the line of the ball when it's gone its way in, and then you would turn and have lots of space when the ball goes on its way out. The next step for this is also understanding the speed. The ball comes from the cross court, it will always come in a V, but if it is a softer ball, the ball will come out and it will come a little bit closer to that back glass. And therefore, if you are turning on a softer ball, you will need to move back, allow that ball out and play here, for example. If the ball is coming faster, then you might not need any back steps at all, and you'll turn moving forward and therefore be able to contact that ball further up the court. So it's really important that you also understand the speed of the ball that is coming from the diagonal. Defending the corners is a really difficult part of the game. It's exactly why we've got so many courses on our platform helping players learn, and actually it's a great place you can send in your videos. Lots of our members do this, where they set up their camera, set up the ball machine into the corner, they send us those videos and we can say, oh, put your steps here, move here, get your technique like this, and it will help them develop their game. So that's at thepadelschool.com if you want to transform your paddle. A common error for this is not taking our racket back as we are turning. If the ball comes down this right hand side, and it's going to feel a bit counterintuitive, but it's actually a backhand on this side because you're going to turn and play a backhand. So when you turn, make sure you take your racket back so that when you've turned and the ball comes out, you only have to swing forward. Players often forget that part and they turn and then try and do it all at the last minute, and therefore don't have the time and lose control on the ball. A great way to practice this is if you get a ball machine, you can fire this ball machine into the same spot, and that will just be a really good way to get repetitions on this shot. Now, I highly recommend not doing too many in a row, otherwise you're going to end up being dizzy, but a ball machine will place this exactly where you want it, and that way you can get more comfortable and confident with the technique. So we've talked about there the technique and how you can practice turning with the back glass. In our exclusive content, we're going to put in a full-length video on how to do this with the double glass and how you can really understand the turns and the techniques for that corner. Now, go to this link up here, thepadelschool.com, and you can get a 7-day free trial. You'll see it in our exclusive content. And then down here, we're going to put another video on how you can actually work with the back glass and get better at that part of your game.